Here's a question for you. Can Seiko reclaim their former glory? I'd like to ramble about that topic today, but show you this Seiko Solar Speed Timer. This is a watch that I bought last year. It's been 1 year of ownership for me. It's one of my favorite affordable Seiko designs. I think it's excellent for the retail price. It's a prime example of what Seiko can do with some dedicated, focused effort. It's a great product. It kind of reminds me of older Seikos from several years ago when Seiko was widely regarded as the go-to brand when you wanted a well-built, original, reliable watch that had some style, had some presence for an attainable entry price. So I miss those days of sub $200 SKXs, sub $300 Turtles and Monsters, sub $400 Sarbs, Samurais, Arnis, and Alpinists, sub $500 Baby Tunas and Sumos, or $700 Transoceans, Tunas, 62 MASs, Sarkses, Shoguns. Really, they had some awesome products just a few years ago that seemed to have criminal amounts of value for money. They did. I don't know. I think they really did lead the industry then. Before I continue, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, which is Exquisite Timepieces. Exquisite is a family-owned AD in Florida. I actually bought this Seiko from them. I've bought from them multiple times over the years. They carry Seiko, King Seiko, Grand Seiko, and about 55 other brands. So a great place to shop for a new watch or trade a watch in. Links are below. Now, Seiko, they did pack that value in with satisfying, attainable, affordable watches. And I make that statement today that they still do it, but admittedly, the prices have gone up like everything else. And that solid value, it's just not as extreme as it once was. So I talk to collectors now, and most call Seiko overpriced, and that they would much rather spend $500 on a new micro brand. And I think that's a significant shift from about 5 years ago, and a massive shift from about 7 to 10 years ago when Seiko reigned supreme in the sub $1,000 price market, and they just had a plethora of awesome options that really had identity and a cult following behind many of them. Now you have watch collectors turning to micro brands or saving a little bit more and passing over Seiko for entry-level Swiss like Tissot or Hamilton or Mido. And right or wrong, I do think Seiko has taken a little bit of a brand image tumble just in the eyes of watch collectors, which, to be honest, we are the target demographic of pretty much only one segment of the market, and that is micro brands. Every large mainstream brand or traditional brand, they predominantly want to appeal to the masses, to everyday people who just want a nice watch and who can't tell you about the jewel count of a 6R or all about the history of this Colonel Pogue color scheme. So the question becomes, even if Seiko wanted to reclaim that entry-level leader position again, could they? Is the market too saturated with competition now? Is there even less demand for affordable luxury items like watches, sub $1,000 watches in today's economy, which admittedly is not great? Tell me your opinions about that in the comment section. What watch or what brand do you recommend to someone that's starting to get into watches? They have a $500 budget. What do you tell them? Do you ever recommend Seiko? I do. I recommend the Solar Speed Timer regularly, and I'll tell you why. For one, I wear one. I love it. I bought one. It's not too large. It's not too small. It has a nice weight to it. There are a ton of different color schemes to choose from. This is accurate. It's reliable. You never need to change a battery because it's solar powered. It has a 3-step movement rotor. It's accurate to a window of plus or minus 15 seconds per month, and it holds up to 6 months of power reserve on one full charge, which can be done in as little as 5 hours in sunlight. The movement has a power reserve feature or indicator that reads either full, medium, or empty whenever the chronograph is not running. When the chronograph is in operation, this subdial doubles as a minute counter, which I like. The watch has ARC on this sapphire crystal, and that's a massive feature for me. I love good ARC. It's not found very often in affordable watches or even luxury watches. It doesn't seem to get the attention that it needs, but this watch has it. It also has bright LumiBrite Lume, 100 meters of water resistance, and depending on the color that you opt for, I think it's a versatile design, so it's good to play with different strap options. It's just a solid, everyday, no-nonsense watch that's not too fancy, but at the same time, especially if you go with a louder color scheme, it has a little bit of pizzazz to it, which I like. And so how has this watch held up over 12 months of use? It's held up really well. And admittedly, I don't wear it every day, but I do wear it regularly. It does not have any large scratches. There are some hairlines on the edges of the clasp. No dings, no dents in the aluminum bezel, and it's very accurate. I once tested this for about a month and a half, and it was only fast by 8 seconds. So because it was so good, I've stopped testing the timing, and I use this often whenever I need to set my mechanical watches after they've been sitting in a safe and it's their turn to get some wrist time. So it's really held up well over the past year. Now, what about complaints? I have a few here. The clasp is small. It only has 2 traditional micro adjustment holes, so it's easily the weakest part about the watch. I think this design needs a longer sport style clasp with a quick adjustment system. This is really the only part of the design that feels a bit behind the rest of the competition. The lume doesn't last all night. It's super bright for about an hour, and then it goes dim after that, and that's kind of disappointing. And then lastly, I don't love the slight transparency to these subdials. I know that's where the light is pouring through to charge the movement. So I would prefer that to be closed off. I get the reasons, but Citizen seems to manage really well with their Eco Drive movements in doing some impressive dials that you really can't tell are charging the battery or charging the movement behind the dial. Now, considering how affordable these solar Speedtimers are, the uniqueness, the history of this particular Colonel Pogue color scheme, I don't think these drawbacks affect my general praise, my admiration, my recommendation of this watch to friends. In fact, I recently went camping with a neighbor and we were talking space, we were talking NASA, and I was wearing this watch. I got to tell him about that OG Speedtimer with the Colonel Pogue color scheme and how it got its name and all that. I didn't go overboard. It was only a couple minutes, but it was a fun conversation and he was genuinely interested in the watch. So I like those types of interactions. In closing, this watch, it's an example of when Seiko does an excellent job. They offer the right specs, the right design, the right, I guess you could say, vibe at the perfect affordable price. In that regard, it reminds me of old school Seiko value from the time when they were leaders, 5 to 10 years ago, when they really held that entry-level position in the market. Let me ask you, do you think that Seiko can reclaim their former glory as that number one affordable watch brand? And do you think they even want to? Thanks for watching today. I appreciate it. Links to Exquisite are below. Like this video if you got something from it or could relate to it. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more watch content like this. Thanks.